what? Why? Tell me why.
Can't even believe that. What's the point of that?
We were going to do a live for our YouTube channel, and we were going to do a watch along with WWE Vault channel. And it wasn't like a partnership, but we were just going to do a watch along. They were live streaming. They were calling it the Lost ECW Arena Show. From what was the date? Go down again. June.
It is June 24th, 2006.
Okay, June 24th, 2006. This was the first house show at the ECW Arena, and I said we'll live stream it, and then you had the flu and you were deathly sick, so I said we're calling it off. Thank God we did, because my segment was cut out, and that I don't know why, but we're gonna a new segment on this show.
Say what?
I mean, say what? Why? Tell me why.
Can't even believe that. What's the point of that?
First of all, okay, I realized it wasn't the whole show. It was a lot of choppiness. I watched the whole broadcast. It was on for about an hour, right? I watched it live. They were going in order. So you had sent me the lineup, so I knew my segment was third. Right. And in the beginning, they showed everybody cutting little promos, and I cut a little. They showed me for about 10, 15 seconds saying, nice to be back here. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what to expect, blah, blah, blah. And that's all you saw. So if we would have did the live stream, we would have looked like idiots, because I wasn't even on the show, according to them. I don't understand why they cut the girls out. And everybody in the comments were saying maybe it's too extreme for what they are showing nowadays. It was just a bikini contest, though.
Right.
I don't remember. I think Mike Knox comes out and shoves me and pie faces me, and I took a bump outside of the ring. But other than that, I didn't see why it was so extreme or bad or whatever.
Yeah, that's what I had seen. The finish or the end of the segment was that Mike Knox comes out, which leads into the next match. But they showed clips of the next match with Balls and Mike Knox.
Right into the next match.
Why wouldn't they just show that happening leading into the next match?
Because I was
zero sense.
I was in a bikini. I don't know. We were all in bikinis, So people in the chat were upset. Guys were upset that wanted to see it. I don't know. I tweeted WWE the next day and asked them why, and I got no response, obviously. So I don't know what the deal was. I guess
it was a great pick. Now we got to go back to 2-3 weeks before. We said when we took our little break before the new year, we might pop in with a couple things here and there. And we did something about the WWE Vault. And our whole topic was they need ECW content. And if we did see ECW content, what would it be? And one of the things we said was the unaired stuff that they filmed that they never put out. You said, bloopers and backstage production footage and backstage stuff from the original ECW. Well, we saw that pop up. And I said stuff like this that they had filmed, maybe even from the WWE era. And they got it. This is the biggest thing that they filmed during that era. And they put it out. But I just could not believe that they cut out the segment, because
I know.
I can't see how long could it have been?
I wasn't that long. It wasn't like an hour long. And they were showing clips of everything. So they couldn't have shown clips. Yeah, look at me. Hi. Yeah, that was it. This is it. I mean,
looks great. Looks like a good clip.
I just I didn't understand, why it was cut out. I don't know. It's one of the times I actually won the bikini contest.
But that's another thing I was interested in, because we've watched one or two of them in our duration together. I was actually looking for an episode where we watched one I think from White Plains from years ago, where we watched the house show footage that somebody fan cammed, and you lost that one, right? Because you're playing the heel. But this is one where you're the uber baby face. You know, you're absolutely going to win this one no matter what. And I'm like, you can't get the adulation of seeing this clip. Like, come on.
No,
so
I can't be put over. Sorry about that. I don't know. I don't know what happened, but it was a little disappointing. It's like, you know, people were disappointed in the chat. Everybody was like, why didn't you show it? It would have been nice if they gave an explanation, but they was just blatantly cut out. So I don't know what happened, but you know, seeing the rest of this show was fun though. But it was very choppy. Like they didn't show full matches. I think the only person who really got a entrance was maybe Big Show, because Dreamer had called him out. Of course, you saw all of Dreamer's promo. And then Paul comes out, and then Paulie talked, and you know, I don't know. Very
and they were really trying to build up Kurt Angle and RVD as the the main event here. This is why they're broadcasting the show. Not like Kurt Angle and RVD may have had a couple of matches throughout time, in WWE and TNA, but I get it. It's in the ECW arena.
Right.
And if we go back to 2006, there's another thing that we can talk about here that we had questions about, and it was the fact that this show was June 24th, but you guys were back less than 2 weeks later in Philadelphia. And so you weren't included on this broadcast, but then that show that came back in 2 weeks, as we were talking about it, we found out you weren't even on a TV taping that was 2 weeks later in Philly.
I don't remember going to the Wachovia Center.
So that's crazy. I can't believe that.
I mean, maybe I was there, but I don't remember going there at all for this show. So I don't know. And again, you guys know my memory is not good. So there's a possibility I was there, but if you had to ask me, I would say no, I did not go to that show. And it was Philadelphia, which is very
it was a great show. I was there. It was July 4th, 2006. Tailgated in the parking lot, had a great time. It was just an unbelievable experience. And you got a title change because RVD and Sabu had gotten pulled over on the way home from a show, and RVD got stripped of first the ECW title and then the WWE title about 2 weeks later. So we got a title change on that show, but the show was billed as just ECW. It wasn't a SmackDown taping. It was just an ECW show. So you got Dreamer and Justin Credible on the show. You got, Roadkill was on the show. And I think Al Snow versus Stevie Richards. Like, it was legit just the ECW guys that were on the show. So I can't imagine why you wouldn't have been used on it.
I don't know
at all. Because I was there. You weren't on it. You were not. You didn't pop up. You weren't in somebody's corner. You were not there at all.
Did the girls do anything?
Not a thing.
Oh, well, maybe they didn't bring the girls in for that show. And that's why
it's so weird.
I know.
It's a TV taping, right? It was the Tuesday night taping, but it had a show built around it. It had dark matches, and I believe it had a post-match, post-main event show as well. That one I could be wrong about. I don't solidly remember that. Yeah. But I mean, it was a big deal. So that show at the ECW arena, they realized they can't run there anymore after this house show because they couldn't handle the WWE production. So they had to move to Wachovia Center, which is why that show was so odd for it to be at Wachovia 2 weeks later after they ran the arena.
Yeah, because they couldn't get TV out of it.
No, they couldn't. It would have probably burnt the building down at that point.
Well, yeah, I don't know. A lot of my memory's foggy from, back then. But if they didn't have any girls on the show, then maybe that's why none of us were brought in. I don't know. I don't remember. So weird. But you think they would have at least shown. I mean, how risque is a bikini contest? Like, that's so stupid. You can't air that. They'll air lesbian segments, but they won't air a bikini contest. Like, stupid. I don't know. Just my opinion. What do you guys think? Do you agree with me? I think you did.
This was the show I'll read you the results.
Which show?
It was of the Wachovia Center show. Tuesday, July 4th, 2006. All right, we got this stupid thing has to be. All right, Roadkill defeats Tony Mamaluke. I mean, again, that's super ECW. I don't know why this is. CM Punk defeats CW Anderson. Sabu defeats Stevie Richards. Tommy Dreamer defeats Justin Credible. Mike Knock defeats Little Guido. Test defeats Al Snow. And Big Show defeats RVD for the ECW Championship.
Huh.
So I had two of my matches mixed up, but I mean, come on, that's not a bad show.
I don't know. I wasn't there.
That's crazy.
Couldn't tell you. Wasn't there. Who knows?
What do you remember about the RVD Sabu incident?
I don't remember anything about it. I just remember them saying, "Oh, they got pulled over. Cop stopped them. Weed or something." I don't know.
Yeah, it was weed, and there was body cam footage that was released at the time. And,
I don't know if I even seen that. It's
been years. It's probably still floating out there somewhere. But yeah, that was a big deal. RVD was getting that huge push, and that was they chopped him off at the knees. I think he might have lost the WWE title to Edge afterwards. But it sucked because it felt like that cut ECW even more off at the knees.
I wonder if that triggered the wellness policy with the piss test and stuff.
Well, it's hard to say because there was so much going on during that 06, 07.
Yeah, I don't. Frame. I just know the one time they told me, "Oh, you don't even have to pee." I was like, "Thanks."
You sure?
I'm like, "Yo, you don't even know what I do back home." It's like I kind of
had to go too. You sure?
Yeah. No, I just that's unfortunate, you know. But he bounced back from it. He's fine now. He's doing well.
He's doing all right.
He's doing pretty good.
He's doing okay. How about back to the Vault footage that they did show? They did have one solid clip of found footage, they called it. So we got to see some of the behind the scenes stuff that you had talked about that you might want to see. What did you think about what they had unearthed in that like 15-minute clip?
The other clip that they showed?
Yes, the other one that
the other video. Oh, that was fun to watch. I wasn't involved in that one, but that was fun to watch that footage because I had never seen that before either. The best is at the end when Meanie farts.
Yeah.
Stevie. That was funny. That kind of stuff to me is like gold. That is so rare and such a treat. Because you see us in our characters all the time, but you don't get a chance, especially with the ECW guys, because nowadays, like WWE has so much production with their extra shows that are behind the scenes. So not only do you know the character, but you get to know a little bit about the real person because they're being interviewed and they're being, drove around in the car, the road trips, the ride along segments. Like you get to see them as real people. With us, that never really happened because we didn't have any of those extra shows. Unless you met us at a signing or something, that's the only real way you got to see how we were in real life. So seeing these shows give you a little glimpse of, again, behind the scenes of what ECW was and the real people behind it. So seeing the guys at Ron Buffone's house, like every time we went there, that's what we did. The studio was this tiny, tiny little room that we would all be in, and Paulie would be cutting it. Cutting the show, and there was a leather couch right behind where he sat. Yep. We'd be sitting on that leather couch, all of us. There'd be like 10 of us crammed in that room, just hanging out, watching what he made. Or we would be in the dining room, and his mother would be giving us food. And if you walked a little bit, there was a couch, and sometimes I'd sleep on that couch. And then that's when Joey Styles would come in at 6 a.m. and I would have to get up, go do my makeup and get ready for my, promos with Shane because that's when he was hurt. You couldn't work. And that's where Paul's standing right now in that little room. I don't know if it was a den. I don't know what it was called, but it was the production room.
Yeah, that's crazy. It looks like somebody's study or something.
Yeah. And then you had to go down into the basement where the ECW banner was always hanging. And sometimes his mom would be ironing. She'd be in the background and she'd have her ironing board and she'd be like doing laundry and ironing, and we'd be like standing there doing our stuff. That's how it was. It was kind of like mom and popish.
Yeah, that's cool.
I loved it.
I love that.
Yeah.
Here's a little bit more of the inside. There was this. I think
he was trying to rip the phone book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
and he was throwing melons or something. They were throwing melons down the street, and look, he's just eating food on the floor. Tommy Dreamer eating food? What? Get out of here.
But I mean, look at the tapes. I mean, that's ECW's library right there. That's incredible.
Exactly. That was the room. If you walk, see where the arm is. I don't know who that. I think that's Rick's arm.
Yeah, that's Rude's arm right there.
Walking that way, there's a long leather couch, and we all used to sit on that leather couch, and then they'd be in front of the monitors, cutting the show. We'd just be sitting there, waiting to see what we had to do. So this is, if you haven't seen this footage, it's fun. It's a good 17 minutes of fun. Out of the element, out of our element, so to speak.
Yeah, there was that. I mean, there was, behind the scenes of
and the fans,
the fans,
fans cutting promos and putting us over and loving the show, and it's great. And
I thought this was cool too.
The Derby.
Yeah, I thought that was cool.
I actually made a comment in the comments section, and the last time I looked, it had over 500 likes, and people.
Oh wow!
I don't know what it's up to now because I haven't looked at it in a while, but fans were just thanking me continuously in this thread, and I did reply to all of them. Now there might be new ones, I don't know, because it's been like a week since I checked, but that was nice. It's nice to be admired or thanked or whatever you want to call it. So it's a fun video.
Well, if you came from watching that video to this channel, then you made a great choice.
Hey there, it is the Queen of Extreme, Francine from ECW. Do you want to see more of me? Click over here to watch another video, or click over here to listen to my podcast.